How are y'all doing today, man? It is your boy Tedo back again, once again with another video. This time we're doing something a little bit different. We're doing a reaction video. Um, so what we got today is Life in the Worst versus the Best City on Earth, man, by OBF. So let's get right into it, man. Without further ado. Alright, man, let's check it out.
This is an average city, and this is the best city on Earth. I'm gonna show you the living differences in these cities, and what makes this one bad, this one average, and this one perfect. These 5 pillars have determined the score for each of these cities: 98.4 for the best, 74.5 for the average, and just 30.7 for the worst. Now let me introduce you to Mohammed. He lives in the worst city on Earth for livability, Damascus. In Damascus, even now, months after Assad's regime fell, stability still isn't where it needs to be
apparently.
For the capital city. Stability is the first pillar of 5. And Damascus scores only 20 out of 100 in this area, the lowest in the world. This means Mohammed needs to carefully plan each time he leaves his house. If he doesn't, he knows it might be the last time his family sees him. Years of civil war, terrorism, and unrest have shattered any sense of security here. Explosions are still present in the city. In July of 2023, a bomb near a Damascus shrine killed at least 6 people and wounded 20. Such incidents are common. It's a major part in why Damascus has been ranked the world's least livable city for so long. One evening, the electricity flickers out and Mohammed's apartment goes completely dark. Power outages have become routine here. Once a city of light, Damascus now goes dark for up to 20 hours a day. Mohammed sighs and lights a candle so his children can finish their homework. But Mohammed tries to maintain a routine. The following day, he navigates through morning traffic to get to work, a chaotic mix of cars and honking minibuses. Potholed roads make his commute an uncomfortable obstacle course. Fuel shortages have resulted in long lines at petrol stations. Still, Mohammed feels fortunate to have work and a salary at all. Given the collapsed economy, Damascus was famed for its historical richness. Tourists wandered the old city, families picnicked in parks, and the nights were filled with the aromas of jasmine and the sounds of laughter in cafes. Today, much of that cultural life has withered. The environment has suffered too. Piles of uncollected trash lie in the streets, and air pollution from generators chokes the city. It's sad because Damascus is nestled in a fertile oasis.
It's like in the desert,
where olive groves, fruit orchards, and canopy forests once flourished.
An oasis. So an oasis apparently, or I think an oasis is like this, right? Where you can grow grass in like the middle of the desert. I know there's some in Egypt.
But even those have been scarred by fighting. But now on to the next pillar. Damascus has a culture and environment score of 40.5 out of 100. A low figure that captures both the lack of cultural outlets and the environmental decay. Culture survives in the small things. Mohammed's family still observes traditional Syrian holidays at home, and his wife cooks the recipes their grandparents loved, even if some ingredients are now hard to come by. These small rituals are acts of normalcy in an abnormal situation. This is...
Hey man, that just goes to show, be grateful for your current situation, man, because there's other people out there that got it worse.
And he has memories in every corner of it. Damascus is the least livable city in the world, but Mohammed doesn't need an index to tell him that. He lives it. He hopes that one day stability will return, the lights will stay on, and Damascus might begin to climb from the bottom of that livability list. Until then, each day is a test of endurance, and each small joy, like a quiet night, feels like a victory against the odds. Bucharest. A morning in Bucharest brings a very different scene. This is Andrei. His phone alarm buzzes at 6:30.
Is this like a mid-city? Is that why he's like orange? And then the next person is going to be green?
In his modest apartment on the outskirts of the city. The room is a bit chilly. It's early spring and the central heating is still unpredictable. Bucharest's aging heating system often leaves residents in the cold. On bad days in winter, he's had to rely on an electric space heater. Still, compared to Mohammed's situation, Andrei's life is one of relative comfort and peace. Bucharest is Romania's capital and not a war zone.
There it is. I was about to say, where is Bucharest?
It's a peaceful European city that has
It's a nice
slowly
building.
been improving its infrastructure and services. Bucharest sits roughly in the middle of the pack, ranked 99th out of 173 cities with an overall score of 74.5. It's far from the utopia you will see later, but is also a world apart
Bro,
from
that's
what Mohammed
fire.
experiences in Damascus. Andrei doesn't think of his life in terms of rankings. He just knows that Bucharest feels okay. It's not amazing and not terrible either. It's pretty average. After all, his city only recently climbed into the top 100, having jumped 20 places in the rankings in a single year thanks to gradual improvements. Like many Bucharesters, Andrei starts his day with a commute to work. He steps into his car, bracing himself for the notorious traffic. Bucharest has one of the worst traffic congestion levels in the world. In fact, Bucharest was ranked the 8th most congested city.
I thought European cities had were good when it came to traffic. I thought they were less car dependent.
And 4th in Europe. Andrei experiences this firsthand. His 12-kilometer commute to his IT office.
And plus, didn't Romania never mind. I was about to say, didn't Romania used to be like communist, but I don't think that has nothing to do with traffic laws, bro. I'm gonna be honest.
Routinely eats up 45 minutes to an hour of his morning. Andrei often debates whether to drive or take the metro. The metro is fairly efficient, and Andrei finds it a viable alternative on heavy traffic days. Still, the metro doesn't reach his suburban neighborhood, so driving remains his best door-to-door option. Bucharest's infrastructure challenges are well known, and they drag on the city's livability. The index reflects this with an infrastructure score you can't brag about. Eventually, Andrei reaches his office. Slightly late, but that's a normalcy. Over lunch with colleagues, conversation drifts to the state of things in Romania. They joke about political bickering and the latest corruption scandal. The stability of the political climate is generally fine, even if trust in politicians is low. In terms of stability, Bucharest is worlds apart from what Mohammed experiences in Damascus. There are no wars or daily threats to safety here. Crime exists, but violent crime is relatively uncommon. Andrei feels safe walking the streets, though he's mindful of pickpockets. Romania has been a stable democracy since the 1990s revolution that overthrew communism, and as an EU and NATO member, the country's security environment is stable. The stability score for Bucharest is solidly above average, reflecting low risk of conflict or terrorism. As Andrei and his friends discuss weekend plans, they don't worry about bombs or fighting. Their concerns are more about whether it might rain on their hike or if inflation will drive up beer prices. Stability for them is taken for granted, even if government effectiveness isn't perfect. After work, Andrei has a doctor's appointment. He heads to a clinic and inside it's clean but a bit outdated. See, Romania's healthcare is a mixed bag. On one hand, basic care is accessible and inexpensive as state insurance covers most costs. On the other hand, the system is understaffed and underfunded. Andrei knows several doctors and nurses from his university days who have moved to Western Europe for higher salaries, part of a well-documented exodus. Romania now has one of the lowest densities of doctors per capita in the EU, about 3 doctors per 1,000 people, ranking second to last in the Union. This shortage sometimes means long waits.
There's a nice little plaza, bro. I would like to visit.
The livability index gives Bucharest a moderate healthcare score.
What y'all know about
that
Romania,
but
man?
far below what places like the best city we will soon see enjoy. After his checkup, Andrei is believed.
Yeah, man, let's see what the best
serious.
city is, bro.
His blood pressure is a bit high, but that's about it.
How much
Stepping out, he doesn't give it much thought how lucky he is to have accessible healthcare, something Mohammed can only dream of. The same goes for the education that's shaped Andrei's life. Romania's education system has strengths and weaknesses, but Andrei was fortunate to attend a decent public high school where teachers pushed him to succeed. In Andrei's personal story, education was his ticket to a stable job and a future that perhaps his parents, who grew up under communism, could only dream of. Now in his early 30s, he sometimes considers going abroad for a master's degree or for more international exposure. But he also feels a loyalty to improve things at home. When he hears about the brain drain of young talent, he's torn. Many of his brightest classmates have left for Paris, London or Berlin. He stayed, hoping to be part of Romania's gradual improvement. And indeed, things are improving. The government recently increased teacher salaries slightly after nationwide strikes, and new schools are being built in some suburbs. These small steps don't make headlines globally, but they contribute to Bucharest's slow climb in livability rankings. However, Bucharest lags behind other European capitals in green space. On average, a resident here has access to only 9 to 10 square meters of green space each, whereas in the best city on earth, it's around 70 square meters per person.
Bro, where is
Issues
that?
also
That
pop
looks
up in
nice,
winter,
bro.
when air pollution spikes due
Oh,
to
they
the
be getting
traffic
snow?
and the use of old heating systems. While Bucharest has some air pollution spikes,
Nah, low key, bro. This is probably because I haven't lived it. But this feels like a vibe, bro. Imagine like Christmas here or something, or like just spending winter here, bro. Tell me that ain't a vibe, bro.
due to the traffic and the use of old heating systems. While Bucharest has some great cultural offerings,
And look right here, bro. Imagine somewhere like here during Christmas. Or like during whatever holiday they celebrate around this time. I think they celebrate Christmas. Look, bro.
and decent climate, they struggle with
That'd be
pollution
fire, bro.
and they lack the polished environment of wealthier cities. Bucharest in his lifetime has transformed from a bleak post-communist city to a bustling European capital with malls, business districts and a blend of historical charm and modern chaos. It's far from perfect, but it is home. As we know, Bucharest is average, and that sounds about right to Andrei. It's a city where things work, but could work much better, where you can build a life, yet often dream of how things could be much better. He doesn't give it much thought that there are people out there who have it much worse than him. He instead aspires to the quality of life of the best city on earth, Vienna. Meet Lucas.
Vienna. I knew it. I knew he was gonna be green. But like I was saying, bro, I mean, low key, bro, I feel like I relate to this orange guy. Because I feel like I am more in like an average city. But like Vienna, bro, from what I saw, bro. And I know Austria is nice. Like they got nice landscape and stuff like that. But from what I saw, bro, it's just something you want to see, you know?
Resides here, and as dawn breaks in Vienna with a gentle golden light spilling over the elegant facades of the Innere Stadt, Lucas steps out of his apartment into a tidy cobblestone lane. He lives in Leopoldstadt, a district known for its leafy parks and quiet residential squares just across the Danube Canal from the historic city center.
That looks like
the air is crisp
that looks like a
and
stadium right
unpolluted.
there.
Lucas consistently enjoys good air quality and plenty of greenery. In fact, almost half of Vienna's area is composed of green spaces like parks and forests. Lucas feels this in his everyday. His morning walk to the U-Bahn, what you might think of as the metro station, takes him through a small park where he often hears birds chirping and sees mothers pushing strollers in the street. The contrast with Andrei's and Mohammed's environments is immense. Vienna's urban planning and infrastructure are designed for comfort and efficiency. It's no wonder that Vienna has been named the world's most livable city multiple times in a row. On his way to work, Lucas grabs a quick melange. Livable city.
Hold on, how many? They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They got 6 chips, bro. This is a dynasty right here. They 3-peated. They 4-peated actually. Okay. Yeah, what y'all think, man? Who had a better run, Vienna or Mike?
Multiple times in a row. On his way to work, Lucas grabs a quick melange, a Viennese coffee. The fact that he can afford this little luxury without worry speaks to the economic stability around him. He works as an architect at a firm in the city center. To get there, there's no need for a car. He actually doesn't even own one. Public transport in Vienna.
Bro, that's the best, bro. Like cities that don't need cars, bro. You look at American cities, and I'm not trying to sound ungrateful or anything, but bro, it's like just a giant highway and then some little stuff on the side.
Is world class, and he, like roughly half the city's residents, has an annual transit pass. It's 365 euros for a year, equating to €1 per day. It's a steal. The tram arrives exactly on
Or them cities that you be seeing people
schedule,
on
gliding
bikes, bro.
smoothly along rails embedded in the clean streets. As the tram crosses into the first district, Lucas gazes out at the city's architectural splendor. Baroque buildings, museums, and the State Opera House, all impeccably maintained. He could step off and in a few minutes be at a museum
Impeccable.
or a historic cafe if he wanted. Vienna's commitment to culture and the environment is evident in these well-preserved streets and public spaces. The city offers over 100 museums, countless galleries, theaters, and an opera season that draws
Bro, imagine like having a wedding here or
enthusiasts
something.
from around the world. This is important for a well-functioning, livable city because if you don't have culture, it's a lot more boring to live there. But in terms of the public transit, it is so extensive and efficient it's deeply trusted by everyone, including Lucas. A recent survey showed 91% of Vienna's residents are satisfied with their public transport, the highest in Europe. The stations are clean, safe, and the network of U-Bahn, subways, trams, and buses.
Yo, and that's cool. Like, look at these little rooftops that they got in European cities. I don't know if you can see those in like American cities too much. It may be like a little bit
Can get
different,
you virtually anywhere in the
but
city quickly. Even late at night, Lucas feels secure taking the metro home. Roads, utilities, and public services here tend to run like clockwork. Water from the tap is high quality, the lights never flicker, and potholes are a rarity. The infrastructure pillar is where Vienna shines, with a perfect 100 out of 100 score, meaning everything from transport to
nice.
telecommunications is top-notch, world-class quality. Lucas
I might have
experiences
to
this
visit
in
one day,
small
man.
ways in his everyday life. High-speed internet in his apartment with no downtime, bike lanes that are well maintained for his weekend cycling, and a recycling system so
Look at
efficient
that,
the
bro. Look
city
how
is exceptionally
clean that
clean for
looks.
its size. As an
Wholesome.
architect, he's proud that the city invests in smart urban planning. New housing projects must include green spaces, public transit access, and energy-efficient design, which should be a requirement for any
sure.
city. Vienna's infrastructure is continually updated to meet modern needs, which is necessary to stay at the top, which Vienna has done for so long. In terms of stability, Vienna's stability score is at the maximum level of 100 of 100. For Lucas, that means he doesn't worry
100 of
about personal
100.
safety or political unrest, something Mohammed can only dream of. He feels comfortable walking anywhere in the city at any hour. Of course, like any other big city, Vienna has some petty crime, but police are trusted and responsive. Lucas reads news of conflicts and crisis elsewhere and doesn't really reflect much on how fortunate he is to be in a corner of the world untouched by such turmoil. But what would a safe city be worth if it didn't include healthy citizens? Well, Austria has universal healthcare, which means if Lucas ever feels ill, he can visit a doctor without financial worry. It shouldn't come as a surprise by now, but Vienna's healthcare score is a perfect 100 as well. In practical terms, this means life expectancy is high here, and people trust the system. Preventative care is a norm here. Lucas goes for his annual checkups diligently, and his health insurance, which is state-run, even covers a comprehensive preventative health program, which is so smart of Austria to do. It's something other countries and cities should take note of. It's pretty simple math. If you catch a disease early, you can for the most part get rid of it much more easily than if you had waited for the patient to show symptoms before treating them, which in the end means less money spent on healthcare in the long run and longer living and healthier citizens. But it gets better. Lucas is also a product of Vienna's strong education system. In Vienna, education is free,
Fire.
or at least very low cost for the most
Free
part
education.
from primary school through university, and the quality is consistently high. The city's universities attract international students and rank
I can
among
see that,
Europe's
bro.
best. Vienna has a perfect score in education too, and Lucas's experience explains why. In school, he never had to worry about outdated textbooks or teacher shortages. Class sizes were reasonably sized, and extracurricular opportunities, music, sports, clubs were plenty. At university, he had access to cutting-edge labs and even got a scholarship for a semester abroad. Now, as a parent, he's beginning to engage with the education system from a new angle. His toddler will soon attend one of the city's many affordable childcare centers, knowing that whichever path they choose, his son will receive a quality education. It enables him and his wife
That kid gonna grow up doing 20v1 challenges.
to plan their careers and life without the anxiety of their kids not getting a good education, something that Mohammed grapples with every single day. Even the fact that Vienna has relatively affordable housing,
man.
thanks to extensive social housing programs by the city, means Lucas and his peers don't feel as squeezed by rent as residents of other global cities do. This broad support for a high quality of life, from housing to parks to cultural subsidies, is a hallmark of Vienna. It's why the city not
Bro,
only
it's like the
tops
whole
the
thing is
mobility
surrounded
indexes,
by
but also
mountains.
regularly surveys as having high subjective well-being amongst its residents. As Lucas walks the last few blocks home after work, under the streets lined with trees and elegant lampposts, he appreciates the almost storybook quality of his city. He lives in a place many others could only dream of and would consider a dream utopian city, and the night is so still he can hear his own footsteps echo slightly. 3 men, 3 cities, 3 realities.
Oh yeah, bro. We could tell who's been stressing out the most. Bro right here has been stressing out the most. I don't even, bro. We know why, bro. Him, bro, just look at his face, bro. Him, you know what I'm saying? He got his head held up high, shoulders pushed back, you know what I'm saying? This
Mohammed,
dude,
Andrei, and
they
Lucas
just not
live
doing
very
good, bro.
different lives. Lives the cities they were born and raised in have facilitated and decided. It's not the fault of Mohammed or Andrei that their cities aren't perfect like Lucas.
I was about to say, that is crazy, bro. You literally do not control your spawn point, bro. Wherever you spawn in, that's the cards you are dealt with, bro. So, you know, I think we should take that as a sign to be grateful for where we live. Like me, I'm at least a little grateful for where I live, even though there is problems. But, you know, it could always be a lot worse. And I think it's just a good message, man. Let me know if y'all enjoyed the reaction videos. Please send me any recommendations. Put it in the comment section down below. I'm gonna make more of these for sure. I might even make a whole channel dedicated to doing reactions. Y'all just let me know what, or I'll figure it out what I decide doing, man. But that's been it for today's video, and I'm out.